Hello and welcome to Needing a Meeting. My name is Carol. I will be your host today. How's everybody doing in the chat? I got Ben here with me. Let me toggle him in here. Hey, Ben.
How you doing?
Good. Did I catch you off guard there?
I was dancing and all kinds of stuff. So, yeah.
Nice. Really nice. That's great. Hello, Becca Jean. I hope you're being safe on the road here. Hey, Stacia, how are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you guys?
Good. Tara!
Oops. Hold on. There.
There she is. Hey, 3 years today, right?
Oh, you've got the tiara out. Yeah, 3 years, no slips. I can't believe it. I can't believe
Amazing.
it. Thank you. I can't
Yes.
believe it because
Congratulations.
I worked
Great.
for it, but
Yeah,
I
you
made
did.
it, and that's kind of unbelievable.
It's
You
fantastic.
look like royalty with your shawl.
Oh, yeah.
It's cold up here. It's a cold day today. So,
Is it?
yeah. But that is amazing, Kara.
Thank you. Hey, everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. Matrix, my other's keeper. Hello, Kim. Hey, Christy. See, I was saying hey to everybody. So we had Becca and Jean driving and Matrix Rabbit. Hey. And Tara smiling. And let's see, Heather, how you doing? Oh, we got another toggle in here. Let's see who we got. Hey, Tony. Hey. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thanks. Since it is like here, I'm
Mama
gonna
was
put
giving baby a kiss.
my warm hat on. Oh, yeah. Hey, seventh son. So what's new with everybody?
Well, I got a couch.
You got a couch.
Yeah, I've been in my apartment for like 3 weeks without any furniture, and I got a couch and a bed this weekend. So I'm
That's
psyched about that.
amazing. Right
Thank
Those
on.
are great celebratory items.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Good timing. I did not plan it that way, but it was a nice present.
Yeah.
Right
Yeah.
So it's a foregone conclusion you were sleeping on the floor before?
So, okay, when I lived in my car, I had a cot on the passenger side of my Prius. And so when I moved into this place, I stored it in my friend's garage when I was living at the shelters. And when I moved into this place for the first 3 nights, I slept on that same cot, which was honestly kind of triggering for me. But my other friend, she had a guest bed, one of those bamboo guest beds that folds into threes.
Oh.
That you put on the floor. And so
Okay.
she let me borrow that for the past few weeks. But now I just got my first queen bed ever. I've never had a queen bed before.
Yay.
I'm so thankful. So thankful.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Mayonnaise Entertainment. Hello. Congratulations, Tara. He said Tara, right?
Thanks,
not Tara.
mayonnaise. Yep,
I don't know
Tara.
why I would say Tara. Maybe it had to do with Laura. I don't know.
You got it right. I used to tell people that my last name was Dactyl so that they could remember that it's pterodactyl. And people would actually believe me. People would not think about it, and they would be like, "Oh, okay, pterodactyl."
See, I would be that person.
Well, those who might be wondering, the vet did come yesterday, and Sugar went out very, very peacefully, which I'm really thankful for. Yeah, she was such a good dog. Oh my goodness, just unreal. Just one of those really amazing, just intuitive, got it dogs, you know.
Is there anything that we can do to
I have-
help make it easier on you right now, Carol?
I'm in pretty good shape. You know, I leading up to it, I struggled quite a bit. You know, now it's done, and she's buried right out there, and we got all that taken care of.
Aw.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
I'm happy
So
that your
she's
son was able to come and be there with you last night too. So you
yeah,
had both your husband and your son. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, thank you for asking. But I'm in, I mean, now that I'm on this side of it, I'm in a little bit better shape, I think. I'm sure it'll hit me from time to time, you know. Just, this was her place and she knew it, you know. And so it's still her place. She's here, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It will from time to time. A year ago, January, I had to put my Aurora down. She was my boxer. And there's still times like bed, and she used to sleep on the bed all the time. And the other dogs won't be in the room at all, but I'll feel weight on my feet and it's her laying there with me.
Aww.
And it's usually
Mhm.
Aww. Oh. Yeah. My other little dog is 14. We've had her since we were 9 days married.
Oh my goodness.
Mm.
And that's the little Jack Russell one, right?
Yeah.
Jack Russell Dashhound or
Yeah.
Dachshund? Sorry, Dachshund.
Many of one or both of those.
Yeah. Just a cute little mutt.
She is. She's a really cute little mutt. She's a fat little
My
mutt
mutt's
too,
barking. You're gonna go get her.
because Daddy feeds her snacks from his own plate. We've been getting to him for that for 13 years.
Oh my
She hasn't,
goodness.
but I have. Oh, thank you, Mayonnaise. Appreciate that. I appreciate that. So yeah. She had really we had called last week to have the vet come this week, and just the last 2 days she really deteriorated rapidly. So, so she's not in that anymore. It was getting harder and harder. I've never seen a dog so willing to try, though, with all that she had against her, as far as like not being able to pick up her back legs at all, not being able to see, not being able to hear well. Yeah. And she could have been as old as 18 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, now would.
Yeah. And it was certainly, I know for a fact she's 14, but probably more like 16. Actually, it'd be 15, because she was there in 2009 when I went to visit when I was living in California, and I came home to visit. And so 15 at least. And they usually, the average lifespan of a Pyrenees is 12. So
Wow.
yeah. So she was very, very old.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
Can I ask Carol, where did you live in California?
I lived in San Diego area. At first when I was there, I was in Mission Beach area briefly, very briefly. And then I did my rehab down at St. Vincent de Paul. And then from there, I went to El Cajon, and then La Mesa, and then Bonita, then Poway. Then the last place I lived was Valley Center, which hardly anybody knows about because it's this tiny little rural tucked away area at the very north part of the county, really inland.
Whereabouts do you live, Tara?
I'm in Central Cali. I haven't
Okay.
disclosed the exact location yet, but I'm Central Coast.
Right on.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Yeah.
Actually,
I
I had a question for Tara, if I can ask it. I've been super curious. What got you interested in becoming specifically an addictions peer support worker? Just the curiosity comes from the fact that I want to help people. I just don't know how I can help people yet. So I'm just kind of curious how this came about for you.
Yeah, well, I commend you for wanting to help people so early on in your recovery. I was pretty resistant in early recovery. I was like, to my sponsor in AA, I was like, you mean I have to help people? What? All right, I guess I'll volunteer, you know. So it's been a process getting to the point where I am now, where I'm like, it's all I want to do is help people. It's like a normal job or going back to engineering. I just don't think it's going to cut it for me in terms of that sense of fulfillment and really helping people, you know, like, of course, engineering, I was in the medical device space. And
Okay.
so like, you could argue that it saves lives, but the devices that I was working on were not preventative. And it's like, if these people were just taking care of themselves, they wouldn't have needed the devices that I was working on. So in the past, it was about a year ago where I really got this bug. So that was 2 years into my recovery where I really was like, all right, what's next for me? I was delivering for Instacart and was ready for the next thing. Nothing felt like it was going to be a good fit, though. And I actually had a therapist suggest that I volunteer for a lived experience group. It's for people who have experienced homelessness. And I started, and we serve the unhoused population. And so as a function of being in that group, I was introduced to the concept of peer support. And there was this training that was happening, and I got a scholarship, so I didn't have to pay out of pocket for this course. And I learned all about recovery and how it pertains to mental health conditions and substance use or misuse, substance misuse. And that to me was so refreshing because it married two different categories that I'm really passionate about. It's not just about addiction, it's also about mental health conditions. And for me, I can't separate those two. The mental health recovery has been just as important to me as the substance misuse recovery. Even though the mental health wasn't a focus for me for the first 18 months, I really started focusing on mental health almost 2 years in. So for the past year. And what I have found is that the more time that I get under my belt and the more tools I have and that training that I went through, it taught me how to protect myself from secondary trauma. Secondary trauma is that vicarious trauma that we experience when we hear other people's stories, and it can be triggering, like you use that word triggering. It could be overwhelming if we don't have the tools to be able to set boundaries and reframe the conversation, kind of direct the conversation away. So I'm by no means a trained therapist. I'm not trained to give mental health advice, but I am a mental health professional trained to provide support to people in recovery. And support is different than advice or guidance. So it's kind of like remembering what my role actually is. And for me, it's a very good fit because I don't have to listen to the very detailed, significant traumas that people have been through. And if people start going down that path, it's actually my role to say, I'm not trained to help you process this information, but I've been through some stuff too. And what has really helped me is working with a trained therapist who can help me process those things. So it's this sort of like happy medium that I'm in where, yes, I'm exposed to things that are or could be overwhelming or triggering, but I'm also trained to redirect the conversation to protect myself.
Yeah. That's interesting, that secondary trauma aspect, because that's something that I thought about. I just didn't have a term to put to it. How do you protect yourself from that, right?
Yes.
Well, especially new in recovery, brand new in recovery. I mean, when I look back on rehab, it's like a full-on trauma bonding scenario with everybody that I was doing it with.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And it's really easy to get sucked into that dynamic where we're trying to act as a therapist. I did that for years and I didn't even know what I was doing. But now that I've been trained as a peer support specialist, in some states it's called peer recovery specialist. But now that I'm a certified peer support specialist in California, I'm able to recognize when I'm going down that path of trying to fix people or providing guidance. And actually we learned two of the quickest ways to burn out in peer support is trying to fix people, trying to solve their problems, and lack of self-care. So as long as I am being cautious not to fix people's problems, my role is to help support people in finding solutions to their own problems. So in a sense, I'm working with more highly functioning people who could benefit from learning how to self-advocate and being supported in their process of gaining those skills of self-advocacy back.
Interesting.
How long did it take you to train and get certified?
It was actually really fast compared to other schooling that I've had. It was only a month long.
Oh, okay.
It was 8:30 to. There's different types of courses available. Some of them are a couple months long, a few months long, depending on what the schedule is. But mine was Monday through Friday from 8:30 in the morning to 12:30 in the afternoon for 4 weeks.
Okay. They probably have online training too, huh?
There is online courses. I believe those are for longer periods. Well, mine was 100% online, actually, but there's different types of online classes. Like we met via Zoom, but there's courses that are self-paced also. And I have he's actually a former case manager of mine, but we stay in touch. And he just went through peer support specialist training, and the course was different in that it was self-guided. So he had a teacher, but it wasn't in the same way that I had a teacher. It was like the teacher was his point person when he had questions about the curriculum, and then he ran through the curriculum at his own pace. And it was, I think, a 2-month program for him.
Okay. Started it from the beginning. Congratulations, Tara, smiling. I'm sorry for your loss, Carol. Thank you, Shell. Appreciate that. Thank you, everybody. And Jen, I'm so sorry that you're going through that.
I also wanted to say congratulations to Tara.
Yeah.
Made it.
Thank you so much.
3 years.
Thank you.
Yeah, she wouldn't take any congratulations yesterday. She's like,
I was happy to hear all the congratulations, but I was conditioned in a no fronts. Like I haven't made it yet, and I'm kind of an extremist when it comes to that kind of stuff. So today is the day to really celebrate and moving forward.
Yes, it is. That is
I'm happy that you were able to come here with us.
I'm so psyched to be here. Yeah, and I was actually early. That felt good. I'm like, I could get used to being early. Stasia, if I could add one more thing just to round out my answer to your question, would be that I said it once, but I think it's really important to highlight that to get to this point where I can help other people, and I really, really want to do it. It's been a process getting there. And I was not in this place even a year into my recovery. I was very focused on the self still and getting my own house in order. And I did that to the best of my ability. And now I feel so full that I want to give to other people.
Right on. That's great. I love that. Mm-hmm.
Oh, we have a little person with us.
And Cosmic, I want to ask how you're doing today, hun.
Yeah, how are you?
Maybe.
I think you're on mute.
You're supposed to just keep nodding like you say.
Okay.
I love when she comes in laughing. It's perfect.
And I had some sleep last night, so that's good. I went to physio, and I can walk around and all that sort of stuff. I'm not in as much pain as I was yesterday, so not as emotional yet. I know I need to wake up like a little while ago, but no, I'm all right, I guess. So yeah,
I'm happy you got some rest.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, not sleeping is one of the worst things. So
Oh yeah.
I
Oh.
ate a prawn. So
Okay.
good.
As in
Oh,
the shellfish prawn?
oh yeah. Is there any other version?
No, I guess not.
Yeah, no. Well, I suppose I didn't put it on the Barbie though. It wasn't a shrimp. But yeah. But yeah, I'm all right, I guess. It's yeah, it's all good. I'm probably going camping this weekend, maybe. Now I can
Ooh.
get up and down off the floor. So
Yeah.
just trying to get out and do some stuff. Hopefully. Although I don't like fires because every time I sit around a fire, it doesn't matter where I sit, the smoke follows me.
Yeah.
No one sits next to me because I'm the one copping all the smoke. Yeah, I really wanted to say sorry to Miss Sunrise Dawn as well. I did see, and she lost
Oh
it.
no. Oh,
Yeah.
Sunrise, I'm so sorry. Oh,
Sunrise.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So sorry.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Rebecca.
Ah, we have a Rebecca.
Or maybe not. Uh-oh.
I was just
I'm-
getting ready to
I'll
say
back
hey to
out so there's
Crystal.
more
and
people can
I
come
don't know.
in.
I don't know if she can hear. Oh, okay.
It's a little,
Hey,
it's a little
Crystal,
early.
how are
Thank
you
you.
doing? How are you doing, Crystal?
Not good.
I'm sorry. What's happening?
What's going on, Crystal?
Oh.
Sorry.
Don't be sorry.
Had a tough weekend
Did you?
at the end of the weekend.
What happened? Do you mind telling us?
I relapsed pretty bad.
Did you? Okay. Okay. Are you okay?
Because of it, I ended up putting my back and neck out. I've been dealing with a headache ever since.
With a backache, you say? Okay.
And a headache.
Oh. How can we best support you right now?
I don't know.
Do you want to talk about it? You don't have to.
I've been doing so good.
Yeah.
And I really relapsed a bit last weekend. But this time, I went to the really bad sites. The ones that really screwed me up at the worst of when I was constantly going to the porn sites.
Okay.
And I ended up going there again this weekend.
Okay. I didn't realize that was part of the struggle that you were having.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what triggered it? Go ahead, Tara.
I just wanted to say that you're really brave for showing up here and for being so honest with you. I think you're really brave. And I want to highlight that just because you slipped into old behaviors doesn't negate all of the hard work that you've done
That's right.
so far.
That's right.
You still have made a lot of progress, and I'm so proud of you for being here right now.
Yeah.
I haven't gone to these, like, I still go to the port every now and then, but I haven't gone to these sites in probably a good 16 years.
Really?
And
Do you know what prompted it? Are you
not
keeping
completely.
okay? Are you keeping a journal at all?
I try to at times. And I used to keep journals all the time.
Yeah.
But
Oh, Crystal, I'm sorry.
I came home early from work today. It feels like I'm gonna throw up half the time because of the headaches.
Okay. Have you done any other peer support for this particular aspect before? No.
You know, at the worst of the addiction, one of my friend and mentor ended up putting a block on my computer, and I don't want to have to get blocks put on my computer because it won't let me go anywhere.
Oh. Yeah. Okay.
And so I've been doing so well with not going to those sites because they screw me up.
Yeah.
Because they just normalize everything I went through growing up. And with everything going on, with not knowing what's happening with the moon, and thinking that it's kind of there, but not sure. It's tough. Having to wait right now again. Needing to know by the 19th or I lose the sale of my home.
As far as needing to know what? That you have a place?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what has happened with those meetings that were supposed to be held, or have they been held yet?
Well, Kim and I phoned Regina last Wednesday, and I got a little bit better answers from them,
Okay.
and they seem supportive. They sent it to one of the higher ups in the provincial housing authority, and so I sent an email to him to get on Monday.
Okay.
And I told him that at this point I will wait and see. But if I feel that I'm not getting the answers that I need, I will send the email on to our MLA.
Okay.
It's just a waiting game. They at least gave me a little bit of hope on Wednesday, saying that they are working on it and they're trying to find me a place that will suit my needs.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay. Do you think that some of the stressors going on there might have had something to do with your relapse?
yep.
Okay. So Sounds like maybe there's a need for finding another way to cope with the stress.
I thought I was doing really well.
Yeah.
I went in to the city on Thursday and had counseling, and then went and spent till Saturday morning with Kim, and had an amazing visit and had helped a lot. I got
Good.
back home into my own space and everything just hit me again.
Can I ask a question about coping, Crystal? What are some ways that work for you?
I don't have many right now. My best friend who was living in this community, her and her husband just moved to Calgary. So they're gone now. I don't have much of a support system here in town anymore.
So support has worked for you before. So I want you to know that, like, this, I know you know this already, but I want to remind you this is such a safe space for you. And I'm so happy that you're here telling us all of this.
Yeah. Tony B says, Crystal, journaling is such a big thing for me. When I feel overwhelmed and want to do things that are not good for me, I journal. And another thing that it does is, like, if you've kept a journal consistently, you can kind of go back and read and kind of see where your relapse started, where you started kind of veering off in some way, or losing focus, or, or just see, a certain path that your thoughts were starting to go down, or, a lot of times it can, because a lot of times there's a lot of power in just knowing what happened, instead of just all of a sudden you're blindsided with your lapse or your relapse, that seemed to come out of nowhere. It didn't come out of nowhere. It started somewhere,
And it can also show you what worked to make things work for you, like it shows patterns of behavior. So that's people tend to follow things in patterns. And if you can see what it is that worked for you long term and then what didn't, it's really, really helpful. And it's also good to just look back and see that you've done this before, so you can do it again.
Yeah.
And is it a lapse or is it a relapse? I mean, there is a pretty good definition about that. As long as it's not sustained long-term behavior, then it's a lapse, because you've 16 years, or that's good going, so you did well. You are doing well. This is a lapse.
Yeah, or
and,
a slip.
Stresses, slips, lapse, slips. Yeah.
Until Cosmic explained the theory to me, I had never heard it before, and it makes it a little bit easier on me inside. If something happens, then I can be more forgiving with myself.
Yeah. Well, you should always be forgiving to yourself. Treat yourself like you would your best friend.
Right. Yeah. Well, however you would encourage a friend, that compassion that would well up in you, give yourself a little bit of that,
Mm-hmm.
You're not
all
a bad
nice
person.
Things you say for us.
Not at all about
No, not at all.
You're not a bad person. You just made a decision that kind of sent you into a tailspin, and that's human. Yeah. But you can beat this. You can beat this.
Yes. I second everything they've all been saying. You are loved. You are worthy. We're so glad you're here. Hugs. And kitty purse from DJ to you.
Oh, look at the kitty. Yeah. But you're so, you help us as well, things that you share, and, your wisdoms, because you are really, really helpful, and you can do this.
Yeah.
You've done it before.
Yeah.
That's right.
Evidentiary based.
I have
Bye.
found that. Oh,
I
go
gotta
ahead.
go. I gotta go. I've got a call coming in.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
See you later.
You could still say it if you want, Tara, and then she can get it on
can.
the stream
Replay.
or the replay. Thank you.
I was just gonna say that thank God I have had some space from the guilt and shame vortex, that spiral.
Yeah.
I think time definitely helps with that, but I remember that guilt and shame spiral, and it made it so difficult to feel like I was making any kind of progress. And it's like, as soon as I let that guilt and shame, for any reason, it doesn't have to even have anything to do with my substance misuse, but as soon as or the mental health conditions that I'm in recovery for, as soon as I let that guilt and shame in, if it goes unprocessed, the way I process it is with my therapist. If it goes unprocessed, it makes it really difficult for me to maintain my recovery. So that's just what I wanted to share. It's like that guilt and shame. I don't personally think they're bad things. I think they're tools. They're indicators that there's something that I need to process.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and I know I harp on about the 4Ds all the time, but the delay, distract, decide, and then decatastrophize is the most important part of that, because when you get yourself into that shame spiral, it actually can lead you down the path of it more, because you're like, whatever the substance or behavior is, you'll just be like, well, I'm here now, I've done it, I've ruined everything, and I'm just going to keep going, because I know I did that after my first detox. I made it however many days, and then after that 6 months later I was still going on my relapse. So because I catastrophized it, and not only that, people around me catastrophized it as well. They were like, oh, I'm so sorry that you instead of being like, it is what it is, just keep going forward.
Yeah. Right on.
So, and that's how it should be. It shouldn't be it's not the end of the world,
That's right.
unless something terrible happens. It's not the end of the world. You can pick yourself up and keep going.
Yeah. Shoot. I hope I'll tell her to be into.
Yeah.
Let's see, we're about 35 minutes in, or maybe.
You said 35 minutes?
Yeah, well, 38 minutes in, but we probably started talking about the things that she could probably benefit from hearing right in the 35-minute mark, I think.
But I have to say, it does feel like the end of the world when you're in it.
That's true.
Yeah.
I find this, because I'm sure I'm like everybody else, that once you start that shame journey, it's like you lose track of all, at least for myself, I lose track of all the good things that I've done. And I'm suddenly this horrible person, and everything I do is bad. And I'm worthless, and all those kind of messages. And so that's where I'm getting better at the stopping the spiral and distracting and trying to get my brain to somewhere else, because otherwise, if I don't somehow pull myself out of that shame spiral, I end up just making it worse. But
yeah,
it's one of those things. A lot of times you can start to develop a negative interpretation of ambiguous events. You will start to develop, or you can start to develop, at least in my case, a negative view of things that aren't negative. But you have selection bias, like this person didn't say hi to me, therefore they hate me. And 5 things can go absolutely great. But at least if I'm there, I notice that I can pick out that one thing and focus on that. And that's just what happens. At least when I start going into the negative self-talk and things like that. Once I'm at that stage, I have a selection bias towards the negative, and I will interpret ambiguous events in the negative. And and once you're there, just free yourself.
Yeah. And it's real easy to get defeated and feel like, well, it's no use.
Yeah.
And that's the most dangerous place,
Mm-hmm.
you
I think the
know?
opposite of what Ben is saying is also true, where if four things go wrong, but there's something that I can pick out and focus on that's going well for me, that's the thing to think about, because
Yeah.
I think it works both ways. It's like whatever
Yeah.
we become fixated on gets bigger.
Yeah.
So if we're like, distraction, I think it's a good way to look at it. Personally, I like that you said that, Rebecca, the distraction piece. I think it works for me these days better to distract myself because I've processed some of the really heavy stuff. And so it's not weighing on me. It's like, for me, what worked was EMDR. My psychology is such that that was a good tool for me. It's not for everybody,
Yeah.
but for me, it worked really well. And so now it's easier for me to shift from, if for like my water heater went out this weekend, I had to light the pilot light 4 different times and it's not working at all now, but somebody's on the way. But rather than focus on that, it's like, I have 3 years clean and sober today, and I'm not
Yeah.
trying to take away from the struggles that other people are going through, but like, it's a significant positive event for me that I would
Yeah.
like to focus on today.
100.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
100%.
It's a big deal. You can start living life. You can start, figuring out what that is,
Yeah, I think part of it's behind me. I'm going to be honest here. One of the funnest things that I used to do before my recovery was surf. I lived to surf, and my surfboard's
Yeah.
right behind me, behind that couch. And I have not been on it since I got clean and sober. It's been 3 years.
Oh,
Because I've
wow.
been so scared that I was going to run into people that were going to offer pot to me. That happened to me all the time before I got into recovery. And so it's sort of been like a protective mechanism, but I feel like I'm to the point where I can't live that way anymore. Like, I have to start doing the things that make me
Yeah.
feel alive. I've run into a wall where if I don't start engaging in stuff like that, I think it's gonna harm me. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
gotta hop back on the surfboard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
kind of-
Have you been in touch with that one sober surfer that you
I
met?
don't. Okay, so there's a few different people in my plane of awareness. I don't know that he's in recovery. I don't know that he's sober. I've heard him talk about alcohol. I've got a couple people, but one of them uses marijuana medicinally, and I totally support that 100%. She doesn't use it around me, but she wants to lose weight so that she can get a wetsuit. She said she's too big right now to fit into a wetsuit. So I need to find somebody quicker than I think what she might be capable of
Okay.
like offering me. And the other
Okay.
guy, he actually was talking with his therapist. I volunteer with him. That's how I met him in that lived experience group. And he sold his board and all of his wetsuits to move here. He just moved here a few months ago, like in the winter time.
Yeah.
And he just talked with his therapist recently, and it's a goal of his to get back into the water. So
Yeah.
I'm going to try to push him, because he's from the sound of it, he's way more advanced than I am, and I could use somebody to coach me and like teach me how to ride better. So
Yeah.
I hope that works out.
I hope that that's too.
Yeah.
It's really important to have an activity
Yeah.
that you can distract yourself with.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
And that
climbing,
you
I
can,
like.
because we're kind of obsessive in our addiction. And so if we can find something healthy to obsess about,
Yeah, yeah. I was climbing this winter, more like rock climbing at an indoor gym. It felt like a safe space. And then I had this run-in with this creepy guy at the gym, and I never went back since. But I'm getting the bug now where I'm like, all right, at some point, I have to face the fear and say, PTSD aside, past experiences aside, I'm ready to recover from this.
Yeah.
I'm ready to not be afraid of my own shadow type of thing.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Although I have this mirror in my new place. It's like a medicine cabinet mirror. And I left it open by mistake the other day. I turned around and it was my reflection. But at first I jumped so hard because I didn't recognize myself. So really,
Wow.
I need to work on that.
Also, when you live alone, you're like, who is in here?
Yeah, it's very surprising.
Right.
Very surprising to see an unexpected person in front of you.
Yeah.
You are getting attacked by your own shadow. Well, reflection.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been trying to do my own. Go ahead.
There you go.
Okay, I'm trying to do my own obsession with just trying to get out and walk. And today I literally almost went out for a second walk. And I was just like, okay, you know what? It would be great for me. I'm sure it would be great for me, but I've got one too many things to do, and that's distracting myself to the point of not getting things done.
Yeah.
So like I would have gone for that second walk. I would have been gone for an hour, hour and a half, and then come back and be like, I could have done 3 things, and then I would start my guilt shame cycle.
Okay.
Yeah. So the point that I'm at right now is I found the thing to obsess over. But now I'm starting to get to the point that I might obsess a little bit too much and lack in areas that I need to be focusing on. So it's finding that balance now.
Well, now the walk is the reward when you finish the things that you don't really want to do.
Yeah. Tuesdays are always really hard for me. I have, including this meeting, I've got 3 obligations for the afternoon. So I go for the walk earlier. And it's really nice to get out in the morning and it's wonderful, but then I'm also like, I want to go back out later. Like now I've got other things coming up and I've got my head going, and instead of, if I miss Tuesdays, I feel guilt and shame that I missed it. And if I go for a second time, see, I'm going back to this cycle constantly, and I'm trying to figure out how to break that now.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's very self-aware of you, Stasia. Your self-awareness is a strength.
Thank you.
Yeah. Big time.
Sometimes I think being so self-aware is, also some of the things that causes such issues is because, especially people who've been through trauma, it's like we know what's going on with us because we've been through it. We don't always know what's going to, how it's going to come out. But sometimes me being so self-aware has been harmful when I've been talking to therapists and all that sort of stuff, because it's like they don't believe me. It's like I'm coming in with my own preconceived notions of what's wrong with me, and they're like, they want me to be like a clean slate. I'm not a clean slate, So I don't. Yeah, so I found sometimes that being self-aware. I know, right? It's and like self-advocating for at doctors as well. Like when I come in there, I know what's wrong with me because I've been diagnosed and all that sort of stuff, and I know pretty much what my body's doing. And then they like, just you're doctor shopping. That's why I really love my doctor now, because she wants me to tell her what's going on with me or what I think's wrong, rather than her trying to figure it out. So it's sometimes being self-aware can be quite, sometimes I wish I didn't know what was wrong with me and I'll just walk around dumb and happy.
Ignorance is bliss.
It really is.
No, I can agree with that statement. Sometimes I wish I didn't have the self-awareness, because then I wouldn't question myself. I just I'm going for a walk. That is it. I need the walk. I'm going for the walk.
Well, they say it's a spectrum, right? And with every weakness, often the greatest, or with every strength is often related the greatest weakness. They often go hand in hand. So Stasia, I think it goes back to what you already identified, which is balance, figuring out how to walk that tightrope.
Yeah. It'll be nice, listening to, actually I was popped into Tara's stream last night, and listening to Tara's stream last night helped me a lot in my waiting process, because it's like, you know what? we have a similar kind of, we both had to go through processes where we were, I think the way that she had put it was unhoused earlier. And then the finding of a place, and then the finding of a good place, and then just the process, right? Like I'm in the process, and the fact that I can see somebody who's been through the process and is feeling, I kind of remember how she put it earlier, feeling full with gratitude, full with happiness, you know, it's a hope. It's something to look forward to. And it's not just something I'm making up in my head and I'm waiting for. It's something that I can visualize.
Right.
So yeah, I wanted to say thank you for that, Tara. I'm so busy with my crochet last night, and I was just like, I'm listening.
I'm glad you were doing something that made you happy while you were listening
Yeah.
to it. That's a huge compliment. Thanks for tuning in. And I think a word that I like to use lately is I am stoked. Like I am so psyched to be in this place, and it has
Stoked.
been
We say that here all the time.
stoked. Yeah, it's been a long, arduous, challenging journey. I'll be honest, it has not
Yeah.
been easy,
Yeah.
but I am so stoked now that I'm in a place that I love. And I
Right
know that
on.
you can have that too. I totally believe that for you, Stasia. You have everything that it takes to get there.
Thank
And
you
not
so
only
much.
that, you're also someone who's inspirational, because you're going to be someone who can tell people like Tara, you can get through this. Because I got out of my last refuge in 2012. I haven't been back. But it's just like, but it's something I now know that you can get through it. When I was in it, I didn't know. I didn't know that there were places you can go. Now you know now as well, you know. So
Yeah.
you're gonna go around and tell people that they've got the opportunity to get free if they want to, you know, because we know the process. We know how to get through it, you know, and there's so many people out there who don't, because that's why they feel trapped, because they don't know where to go, what to do, or what the process is. And it's fear,
Fear cripples people. Yeah.
yeah, it's fear and lack of knowledge of what's out there, you know, because I didn't know there was any such thing as a DV
I had
home
no
for
idea
women.
either.
No, so I didn't know what the services they could provide. You know, it's just it's something that knowledge is power, and when we share our knowledge, we're sharing our power.
Oh, I like that. I like the way that you said that. It because I've been feeling powerless to the process lately
Yeah.
because of
Yeah.
the stagnation, the fact that all my little steps, you know, I'm going to use your word now, Tara. I was all stoked and it got all accepted and all of these other things were, you know, finally coming to fruition. And then now it's this stagnation of waiting and not getting the answers and needing to find an in-between place, because that'll help me feel better, is finding an in-between place. I've got a date, an important date coming up towards the end of the month. I wanted to be further in my process. So the way that you had put that, Cosmic, the knowledge is my power. That it puts something positively in my head instead of thinking it as just stagnation. I kept learning through this process.
Yeah. You know, if you think of a river, the biggest part of the river, you know, if you see white water, that is a shallow part of the river. But if it looks like it's barely moving, that undercurrent is going just as fast as that white water.
Okay.
And so it may look like it's a river may look like it's stagnant, but it never is.
It's always moving.
Yeah. You know, and if you think of it like we can move forwards or backwards, you know, and we can spin our wheels too.
Yeah.
But you know, you're doing something every single day to further your sobriety, to get your life where you would like for it to be. You know, there's not a day that goes by that you don't, even when you're taking a break from it. That is something, and you have to have those.
Self-care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when we talk about people being obsessive about stuff, I've been obsessive about recovery. You know, it's basically all my day. I watch recovery meetings. I do this. I do smart recovery. My life is recovery now, and I have to shift it.
Yeah.
Because I can't do this constantly. Like, I can't always be thinking about what it was that put me here.
Yeah, because
so,
life, part of the point of being sober is to live life. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's fine. That's exactly right. You know, it's like, just because I'm now doing what I'm doing doesn't mean that I can't be obsessive about it, because otherwise it's not going to work. Because I get bored with obsessions. So, I've just got to, so I've just got to try and focus on something else. And I don't know what it is yet.
Okay. I bet
Whatever
you figure it
tickles
out.
whatever tickles your fancy in that moment, you know? And
Yeah.
Stasia, if I can add something to what you said, waiting, it is part of the process. So I know you feel like nothing's happening right now, but waiting is a huge part of the process. And there's going to be, I mean, really, it's an opportunity for you to do something that brings you joy, or it's an opportunity for you to do the opposite. You know, either way, it's like pick your path. You know, you could either enjoy yourself or not. But waiting is part of the process. So you're in the process.
Yeah.
It's just like, how do you want to spend your time while you're waiting? And you've got a lot of things that you enjoy doing, and that's a beautiful thing.
That is a beautiful thing. Oh,
Yes.
I love it.
I can say a lot. But I'm also pushing myself to be a little bit more locally social. Like, I have connections with you guys on the internet, and that's great, but I don't have much one-on-one.
Yeah.
So trying to open that up a little bit has been fruitful, for one. And it's been wonderful to feel like a person on the other side of the table or on the other side of the couch or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
I do find myself getting exhausted very quickly, though.
Really?
Very quickly. Socializing. I did 2 days in a row this weekend, and I was zonked when Sunday came around. Just,
Wow.
I'm not talking. I'm going to bed. Good night.
Are you an introvert?
That's,
I never used to be, but I think that through COVID and through this last situation, some things might have shifted inwardly. And also discovering the fact that I distract myself a lot, which I never really understood until COVID. I needed to fill my days and my weekends even more. So I think I pushed myself to be social, and I'm not sure why, but I pushed myself to be more social than I actually was.
well,
I think it's expectations. You're
and
expected to be social.
and social, you could be social and be an introvert. It's just introvert extroverts where you get your power. If you're around a group of people and you feel recharged afterwards, chances are that's not a great test, but chances are you could be an extrovert. But if you're around a group of people and you just feel, if it's that way constantly, then you're probably an introvert. If being alone helps you feel recharged, then
Lately especially being alone feels awesome. It feels awesome. So, the waiting for the apartment, I think part of that is I just want my whole entire space to be mine and alone.
Yes. Especially with the environment that you're in. I was the same way. I fall into the category of what's called an ambivert. I'm somewhere in the middle of being extroverted and introverted. And when I was at the shelters living around a bunch of other women going through their own stuff, I was very much introverted, and I just wanted my own space. Please leave me alone for a while. But now that I'm in my own space, I need other people to balance that out. So maybe it kind of sounds like you, I mean, I don't know, but I can relate to what you're saying is what I'm saying.
No, and I didn't know that there was an actual term for that. And of course there's a middle ground of everything, right? But it's not like that's explained to us when we talk introvert, extrovert. So I appreciate that. I really appreciate that.
Sometimes I think I'm an extroverted introvert because I'm not at all social, but when I walk around, I'm always like out at the shops, I'm always like, hi. And then I'm like, I'll compliment people on their shoes or their dress. And then I'll get home and I'll be like, oh God. You know, but it's just like, because it feels like that's what I'm expected to do, because people look at me and they'll smile, and so I'll smile and talk to them back. But if I could, I would walk through the world with my sunnies and my headphones on and ignore everybody.
See, I don't see why you can't.
Good point.
Because then I look autistic.
Fair. Okay.
Okay.
Well, yeah, and getting your own space, it's actually part of your identity. I mean, you have something
That's true.
You're it helps fill out who you are. Then that way, then you can take up surfing and you can have a surfboard behind your couch.
Oh, goodness. And I don't want to cut anything off here, but I need to go here because I'm going to have recovery management in about 10, 15 minutes. So I love you all. Thank you so much for the conversation. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. And happy 3 years.
Thank
Yes.
you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I hope you have a good meeting, Stasia.
Thanks. Bye, guys.
Bye.
And I had to join today because it's your 3-year anniversary. And so I was able, because I'm doing training, to start early for work today. And I had to join you.
Oh, that's so sweet, Rebecca. It's so nice to
Glad
see
you
you
did.
today.
Yeah, it is. Jen, sweetheart. Oh, I wish I could hug you right now.
I'm so tired.
Oh. I think you froze, sweetie. Here we go. Let's see.
I'm almost home. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I had to.
Oh,
Maybe when she gets home,
Yeah.
be able to join. I hope.
Internet connection. Yeah. So,
Okay. I'm having a Wi-Fi thing there. I'm sorry. So I'm behind on my car still and my rent. My tax return got amended without talking to me, and I don't know what's going on with that. And I'm trying to find the time to call them to get that money. And of course, all of this is brought on a fibromyalgia flare.
oh.
So I'm just 5 deaths in less than 4 weeks. Not feeling good.
Oh,
Having
Jen.
fibro flare, and then the pinched nerve in my shoulder blade.
oh.
I mean, I kind of like a whiny. Okay, I'm having a
No,
really
but that's a
hard time.
lot.
I understand, and I'm I got my medical records for my first TTI program, and that's been in my head a lot. So that's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, it is.
But my therapist, I sent it to her, so she was going to read it over the weekend, and then we'll talk about that together starting tomorrow. And man, I've been really wanting a cigarette lately. Oh my gosh. It's April. I haven't smoked since November, and I just
Oh my
want
gosh.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Wow.
After 40 years smoking constantly, I just
boy.
quit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, and it is a really big deal. You know, I celebrated it for quite a while, but I don't really feel like celebrating anything. Just walking the
Yeah.
5 blocks home is so painful.
Ouch.
Yeah, and you know, it was a funeral for somebody that I really cared about, but me and my dad did all the cooking for it this morning and everything, and then we're part of it, and then I had to clean up afterwards, and it's really exhausting. I did actually get some good news today.
Good.
pretty excited about. Finally, some good news. My mom got her biopsy report, and it is benign.
Oh,
Thank
Yes.
you.
that is
Oh,
really good.
yes.
That was like,
Woo.
that's like 80% of the fear, like just taken right off my shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's been really difficult, dealing with my mom getting really sick at the same time that Steve was dying.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't know that Steve was dying yet, but
Right.
So that was some really good news today in the middle of I know it's Tuesday, but like my brain can't even comprehend that it's Tuesday. So yeah, I've been at the Legion Post and then the funeral home and then back to the Legion Post since 7:30 this morning.
Wow.
Yeah, but I'm working up to my building, so at least I'm home. I'm just, all of the stuff that's been going on, all my financial issues have not changed, and I apologize for that noise. Okay. I haven't been able to work as much as I was working, and then I found myself in this position. And this is not a new position for me, unfortunately. One of the really awesome side effects of being sent away for 3.5 years to a troubled teen industry program is that you have a really hard time being able to hold a job down, being able to have intimate relationships, being able to trust people, friendships, stuff like that. Yeah, I'm a third floor walk off, by the way. Okay, just about. Now I'm in my place. Okay. We are in my home.
Welcome home.
Welcome home. I'll have 2 cats waiting for me to do stuff for them. I see you. Hi, Thomas. Oh, gosh. So, yeah. No, I'm a frightful wreck. I am. I'm a
That's a
frightful wreck.
lot, Jen. That is too much at once.
It's too much. It is. It's too much. It's too much, and I still have my doctor's funeral on Thursday. Steve's funeral's on Saturday, and that's like an hour and a half away. Then after his funeral, I have to drive back down here, or back down to the post, and do work a military dinner. I have to be there at 5:30, but I need the money, so I can't not. So I'll just head up to Vicky early, and then leave like maybe during the luncheon or whatever that they do afterwards.
Okay.
I'm just gonna put all this stuff, just put that stuff down. I'm gonna go sit down because I really need to have a sit down so I can actually look at all you beautiful people. Oh, hi.
Hey.
Oh,
Hi, Tara. It's good to see you. Just getting to know you, Tara, but you have a very calm way about you, and I like that.
yeah.
Thank you.
I can do that too, but not lately.
I was super stressed out a few weeks ago. I had so much going on, like what you're describing. My tooth got infected. Like while I was moving into this place, my face swole up while I was moving. And I had like the place that I live in that I just moved into was fumigated 2 days after I moved in. So I had to go to a hotel 2 days after. It was a nightmare to manage everything. But when you were talking, I was like, what popped into my mind is, I'm sure you've all heard this, but how do you eat an elephant?
Yeah.
One
One
bite
bite
at
at
a
a time.
One bite at a time, and that's how I'm so calm right now, is because it's just one bite at a time, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
get that. Sounds great. Now, just to put that into action would be
Yeah.
fantastic. All I really want to do is go to sleep right now.
Yeah.
That
I've
sounds
always
nice.
thought I've always loved that saying, but I was always, where do you start?
Right.
Have you ever had an elephant ear before?
Yes.
No.
Oh, they're
Yes.
so
What
good.
is an
Yes.
elephant ear? What is
It's
that?
So I used
dough,
to get them at the fair when I was a little girl, and it's like a
fried sugar dough.
yeah, fried dough
Is
with
that like
cinnamon sugar on it. It's
Oh,
so
I've
Mhm.
had
good.
that.
Like
Ooh.
this
It's
big,
really good, actually. It's like
so
a
good,
carnival thing.
so good. So
I've
that's
Yeah,
heard
what
like
it is.
beaver
I would
tails.
start
I've
with
heard
the
of beaver
elephant.
tails.
A beaver tail.
Yeah, they're like supposed to, well, I don't know if it's just a cartoon thing, but they were like they're fried stuff with sugar on it. So I guess
Sounds
it's
dirty. It
yeah.
sounds dirty.
Fried with sugar.
It sounds dirty. I'm just gonna tell you.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah, I was
gonna go
going to
into
say the
the
same
Ah!
thing that Indian fry. It sounds a lot like Indian fry bread. It sure
Yes.
does.
Yes.
And I agree with other people in the comments. Definitely,
It's
if you're
definitely food.
tired, it's your body telling you need to rest.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
if I get there's little fur babies that need to be taken care of, and you need to take care of you. But yeah,
Yeah.
definitely get all the rest and take care of you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why can you tell them I'm cleaning the litter boxes or something, Rebecca?
No, but you said you had 2 cats waiting for you. I think you said it.
Yes, Thomas and Frank are always waiting for me. I know that my body's telling me that I have to rest, and I get there. But I lose this car, and I'm screwed. Like I can lose this apartment and figure something out. I lived here for 4.5 years. A lot of people here know that I'm kind of in danger here, anyways. But I can't lose this car. So I'm just trying to work a bunch, even though I'm sick.
Mm.
I missed a lot of work, with I missed a lot of work going back and forth between hospitals and yada yada, whatever. I don't regret any of it. I just I laugh at people that say money doesn't buy happiness. It does not, especially not to people that like are born with money. But people that have never had money and they work really hard on them on their inner selves and all their soul work and all the trauma. 99,
But
I
it does
think 99
provides a
problems. Every
stability.
single one of them is money.
Yeah, money might not buy happiness, but it does buy stability.
That's
Yeah.
exactly it.
Yeah.
Because happiness can be found within us. And I've been homeless because of a domestic violence situation. Unfortunately, more than once because I was addicted enough to this person that I went back and forth for 30 years with them, and that wasn't necessarily smart. But we met when we were 15, so now that
Mm.
that's out of my system, I don't know. I don't know. I just and I'm so into my YouTube channel and my advocacy and all the things that I'm doing. But like, you see this? Like, this is me, like walking without being able to stand up straight.
Ooh. Ouch.
Yeah,
Zelda
Clever.
says, Jen, after you take care of fur babies, sit down and stay down. And Henny
yeah.
says, that's a lot of stress, Jen. Do take some time for you to relax this evening. Tomorrow will bring a new day. And as the song goes, what a difference a day makes.
This is true. Just like George Harrison says, "Here comes the sun," and I say, "It's all right."
Yeah.
So all we need is a little sunshine sometimes. That might help too. It's been pretty darn rainy and dreary around
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
I'll send you some of mine.
Yeah,
Go to jail.
I'll take some of your summer, even though our summer's getting close.
Yeah, it's autumn now, but it's actually really lovely here. I kind of want to go outside and show you what it looks like, but I've got to go soon because I've got my support worker coming.
I always enjoy that, Christy. I love that one. But you can always just like, send me some pictures.
I will. I'll do a video for you.
I'm looking forward to on Monday. I'm gonna treat myself as long as everything goes well, and I'm gonna go down. What keeps you from starving, Misha?
I'm going to say money.
Money does.
Well, money.
Money can keep you comfortable in your misery, so I've heard.
It's 100% true because I have had very high paying jobs in my life. I know what it's like to be a have. But I worked really hard. It wasn't something that was ever easy.
Yeah.
But that was very comfortable, but I didn't know what was going on with me psychologically at the time. Once I was able to figure that out, I've been more happy within myself.
Yeah.
Which is more important to me than having money. But now that I'm happy within myself, I'm like, okay, just my bills. I don't even think I'm asking for a whole lot. Just want to pay my bill. Oh, that's my. I don't know. I'm exhausted and probably being a baby. And
like I said, that's a lot.
It is a lot. You're right. It is. I have to acknowledge that it is a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to yeah. It's a lot, Frank. Can you see Frank?
Yeah. Hey, Frank.
Beanie. Look, say hi. That's my scaredy cat.
I always want to meow at cats. I just want to go meow.
Oh, here's Thomas. Thomas is the one that loves to be on camera.
Thomas.
Who is that, Thomas? Who's that? Are those your friends? That's my boy. Frank is my girl. But I had to name her after Frank Zappa because she's got the same facial markings as he had. And I will remind everybody and tell everybody who didn't already know this that her middle name Beans came from me getting her when she was 2 months old, and her farts and her poop smelled like really. She'd been eating beans for 3 days. Yeah, I love my babies. They're good babies. They really are. Yeah. They help me a lot. Not that I don't feel stressed about them, because I do. I know I got to get Thomas in for a deep cleaning on his teeth because he came to me at 5 months old with gum disease, and he's just about to turn 4. So I got to get him into the vet too. Yeah, I'm still out of breath, huh? I haven't upstairs for a while.
Yeah. So talking and walking. I can't do it.
Yeah, a lot of that.
Wait till I finish. Because I walk fast everywhere.
Well, and I wanted to walk fast because it was rainy and it's chilly and everything hurts, and I'm going to eat this kielbasa and sauerkraut that my dad made, and then I'll probably fall asleep here on the couch.
Sounds good.
I'm really grateful that I made it in here for a little bit.
Yeah.
I didn't cry, but I feel like it's coming.
Yeah.
And I'd rather do it before I'm with Vicky on Saturday.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
So I will be probably coming here every day until
we're here for it.
I know, and I'm representing all of us who love Steve.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I'm actually gonna I'm gonna talk to Vicky and see if she doesn't mind if I put my phone up in the back of the room and just live stream it for people that want to watch. And I don't think that she's going to have a problem with that at all.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Aw.
that'll be Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern.
Okay. Okay. So it's
Um,
noon here. Yeah.
mhm. Yeah,
Okay.
so I'll just confirm with her tonight so that I can put that up on my page so that people can be ready for that. And then it'll be up there forever if anybody, ever wants to watch it. But
Yes. Good. Yeah. Oh.
yeah, I think it'll help. I think it'll help a lot of us that love him, and I think it'll help Tommy because I know that he's having a really hard time. So he's really, him, you, Carol, Christy, Stasia, who bumped off, Ben, obviously, definitely Stasia. I already said that. Seventh Son, there's so many people. Henny, I know Henny's in here. Misha is in here. That's, I don't know. I just feel like everybody should be there. And I know that so many people want to be.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is my plan. I will let everybody know, but as long as Vicky says yes, which I'm pretty sure she will, I'm going to go
Okay.
up. Who just, oh, yeah. So I'm going to, I'm out of breath.
Okay. Yeah.
I've got
It's
to go. I
okay.
love you guys. I'll
It's all
see
right.
you tomorrow.
Love you,
Thank you.
Cosmic.
Love you,
Sorry,
Cosmic.
I'm so
Thank you for listening.
love you. I'll always listen. I'll still be listening. It's just my support workers here. So
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I love you.
Love you. Bye.
Love you.
Is one of your guys' cats meowing or is it mine?
Not me.
Okay.
DJ's probably sleeping in the bedroom.
It has to be mine then. Aw.
My cats are smelling my food in the kitchen.
Somebody's phone.
Take care of that.
Sorry.
I'm from Bisbee. What do you expect from me?
I can't even hold my head up, y'all. So
It's okay.
It's
Oh.
Carol,
all right.
can I ask you a question about your recovery, Carol?
Yeah.
I'm curious how your third year was compared to your first two and all the 27 others.
The first two, I just felt like I was just barely just keeping my head above water.
Mm-hmm.
After about 2 years, I started thinking, that, it really hit me hard having given my baby up for adoption, and substance abuse was part of that. I knew I was not in a good place, and I kind of knew it was drug and alcohol related, but I hadn't quite, said that this is it exactly. I just knew that my life wasn't a good thing. And, about 2 years in, I was just like, it would have been okay. Of course, we don't know that. We don't know that. I mean, it could have been, the whole course of events setting my sobriety in motion. We'll never know because I don't get to go back and make different choices, But so from about 2 to 3 years, that was every day, just grieving that and wanting to figure out a way to be in touch with my kid. And trying to work up the courage to write to the adoptive parents to ask if that would be a possibility, since it was supposed to be an open adoption. For them, open adoption meant that they kept up with their letters and pictures, which a lot of parents that promise that don't. They renege. They pull up roots. They go out of town and they disappear, and adoptive moms never hear from them again. So I was lucky that at least that didn't happen. And when I did finally write to them, they politely said no, which I expected, but I had to try.
Yeah.
I had to try, and so it was a real mixed bag. My sobriety has always been a mixed bag because, I was in a heavy duty religion. I just traded one addiction for another, basically. So as long as I wasn't drinking and wasn't using, then, there was some recovery being gotten there. And I did process some stuff, but I have a cat that's climbing up the house outside. He's pulling himself up to the window.
Farm life problems.
But yeah, so I almost, there's potential for growth as long as you're not drinking and using. But I probably stunted a lot of my being in such a heavy duty religion. And, spending so much time grieving my son, So I don't have a real good answer for that,
I thought your answer was fantastic. It's your lived experience, and that was all I wanted to know about.
Yeah.
It's helpful to know that you were clawing for through your first 2 years also, because it was blood, sweat, and tears, honestly, to get to this point.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that because I spent the last year focusing on my mental health recovery, that year number 3 is the best one that I will have so far.
Yeah.
But
I hope so too.
I don't want to put the cart before the horse, so we'll just have to see.
Well, you look like you're in a good place. You have a relaxed, peaceful countenance. And that's it's our internal life that that counts for a lot. There's a lot of stuff that can go on that can kind of knock us off balance with that. But if we can stay mindful to stay in that place and know, okay, this is a temporary situation. It won't last.
Yeah, that's something that popped in my head when I was listening to Jen talk, is that what helped me through, it's temporary, all the chaos, like just feeling like I just want it to stop for a little. It's like, it will pass. And it did. It always does.
Yeah. Yeah. We get through those bad times. And I had a lot of them. My first 10 years sober. A lot. But I also had a lot of good things inside. And I feel like that's what got me here today. Those good things that I had happening inside.
Did you know that you wanted to stay sober in perpetuity, or has it just been like one day at a time has got you to this point?
When I first was getting sober, I'm like, there is no way in hell I'm going to make this. Just the thought of never being able to sit down and have another beer or whatever my favorite drink, my drink of choice is, or at whatever time, it would always change, depending on where I was and who I was hanging out with, or smoke another joint. That was just more than I could fathom and more than I could deal with. And people kept saying, you can't think of it that way. You got to think of it one day at a time. I couldn't. I could not. I could not deal with that possibility. It was not something that I was ready to let go of at all. And I was one of those that was going to just do it. And I was going to be drilling it and drilling myself into my hole in the ground, into my grave. That's the kind of addict that I was. And so there was never going to be enough. And it was never going to be good enough that, I can just for today, or, that I never would have the possibility of ever doing it again. I mean, just even in the last year, I've had those times when I'm like, dang it, why can't I? Because I always felt like it did such good things for me socially, and the way it made me feel, I miss it sometimes, even now. But I don't miss where it landed me. And that was never going to get better as long as I was drinking and as long as I was using it. And I think that's the thing that I always arrived at, is I never liked where it landed me, where I ended up with it, and I couldn't deny that the drugs and the alcohol had the biggest part to do with that.
Does your brain ever play tricks on you? Like maybe it wasn't the drugs and alcohol, like maybe because with me, sometimes it's like, well, maybe it was my mental health, maybe it wasn't the drugs and alcohol. Maybe because I've focused on my mental health recovery, I could use normally someday, but then it's the same as you. I always circle back to, well, the actual situation that happened was that my drinking and drugging perpetuated my mental health issues that were untreated. I was self-medicating because of the mental health. So it was like a vicious cycle, which I never want to return to again. So it's very similar to what you're describing. I guess I want to pose the question, like, does your brain ever play tricks on you to make you think that maybe you could use responsibly again?
Yeah. And that's been an ongoing thing, and it's not all the time, but it does blindside me on occasion. It does. And the whole mental health thing being in the mix, it does make me question whether I could. But I also know at the same time that it felt like I was I was managing it with these things that I was drinking and using, but I know that it made it worse. I do know that. And so, there's always that fear that if I do, is it going to kick off another mental health crisis? And that's that. So it's all those unknowns, plus not wanting to lose what I currently have, even if it's not something. It's always been that thing where it may not be great, but it's better than where I was when I was drinking and using.
Yeah. It's really helpful to hear you talk about this from the seat that I'm sitting in right now, because I don't think these things are talked about enough with people who have long-term sobriety. And when those kind of thoughts creep in, sometimes I think something's wrong with me, but it's helpful to know that it's part of the process and that it happens to a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've just never found it to be. I always think it through before allowing myself to relapse. And sometimes I even go through the whole thing of, where I'm going to go have that first drink, and I'll allow my mind to, go through the journey of sitting down and ordering the drink or going to the liquor store and getting whatever, because it's always going to start with booze with me. The only reason I ever used anything was just because my guard was down after a few drinks, And so I can't really call myself an addict per se, because I didn't have one thing that I stuck to. If it was there, I did it. If I was drunk enough or had enough booze in me, or the situation was right,
Didn't you ever hear Robert Downey Jr.'s quote? when they asked him what his drug of choice was, and he said more.
Mm,
It just makes so much sense to me.
mm,
Yeah. It
You know,
does.
it doesn't even matter what it is, just more of it.
Yeah.
mm.
And look at him. He's doing amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I looked at him a lot, actually.
Yeah.
He had a lot
Yeah.
of childhood trauma too.
Yeah. And and he was one of those that you would look at when he was in it, and
I thought he was
I
gone.
never would have guessed that he would be where he is today.
I agree. You know that his comeback started with Elton John. It was the first video that Elton John decided he didn't want to be in, and it was for the song "I Want Love." And it's Robert Downey Jr. walking through an empty mansion somewhere in the Hollywood Hills. He's got a great singing voice, actually, but he was lip syncing it, and it just I would suggest people watch it, especially if they're struggling, because you can really see that struggle in him, but also this resolve. And then ever since then, that was 2001. Ever since then, he has been just on this upward trajectory. And granted,
Yeah.
he's got a lot of money and resources to help him, but that doesn't always mean anything with people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the song name?
I Want Love
Okay.
by Elton John.
Okay.
I'm totally going to watch it when we get done here.
Oh, Crystal.
What happened? Crystal, you
She
all right,
says
sweetie?
it sounds like the only way I'll be able to move is to give up one of my babies, her fur babies.
Oh, no.
Crystal. No. We're gonna be sending out whatever we do. One's for Crystal for being able to hold on to both fur babies and have a place to
Yeah.
live.
Yeah.
That's an absolute fear that I have been through in the last 8 months or so, is the fear of having to give up my cats. I think when I first started coming around on the live chats, it was when things were getting really bad. I just haven't talked about it for months because there's been so much other stuff going on.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. They're going insane. I think I should probably log off, but I just want to tell you all how much I appreciate and love you, and am
Me
incredibly
too.
proud of all of you. That includes you, Crystal. I know that you're in the chat,
Yeah.
and you're
Yeah.
not feeling so great, but I'm really proud of you for speaking up today and
Yeah.
saying how you're feeling and holding yourself
Yeah.
accountable.
Yeah.
That's
Definitely.
really great. I hope that you can feel that, sweetie. I really do.
And also, like, when you went to go answer the call, I think we were about 35 minutes into this meeting when some really good things were talked about in relation to your situation. So I hope you'll go back and listen to those, because there's some good stuff there.
Yes, Crystal, do.
Yeah.
Because we love you.
Yes,
All right.
we do.
Yeah.
Very
We do
much.
love you. All right,
Yes.
I love everybody. I'm gonna log off.
Okay. Love you, Jen.
Bye.
Hope
Love
you-
you.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye. Oh man. It would be, a lot of my
Mm.
sobriety, there's been a lot about it that sucked.
Mm.
Hmm.
I wish that I could get by with, some people can actually be functional doing that, being an addict and being an alcoholic, but I was never going to be one of those. And,
Mhm.
Well,
but
if life was all beautiful,
we wouldn't need that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not that we need it,
But
but
there wouldn't be any call for it or any.
yeah, it wouldn't have its place in our world. That's true.
Yeah.
You know, I can relate to what you were saying, Carol. And as you were talking, I was thinking, you know, what's really sucked about the first 3 years of my recovery? Like the thing that sucked the most is I haven't been on that surfboard a single
Yeah.
time. I really would like to fix that. Like that's a goal I have for 2024. So hopefully I hop on it. It's starting to warm up. So
Is this something that you could do by yourself?
yes, but I don't want to. Like I used
Okay.
to surf by myself a lot. Like you know, it's a very independent sport. I definitely can go out by myself, but
Yeah.
I have in my mind that I'd like to have an accountability partner, someone who, even if they
Okay.
engage
Oh,
recreationally or if they use medicinally, someone who knows that I'm in recovery and respects that, and who
Yeah.
is going to hold me accountable if somebody does try to pass me something. And if I'm like, well, when in Rome type of thing, it's like, no, I don't want that to be a part of my experience of surfing moving forward. And
Yeah.
so, well, for today, like you were saying, to think about forever is not how I got to 3 years. I
Yeah.
got to 3 years because I've taken it one day at a time.
Yeah.
Miraculously, like I can believe it, but I can't believe it all at the same time. I can believe it
Yeah.
because I worked tirelessly and shed a lot of tears to get here, but I can't actually believe it. It's
Yeah.
similar to what you were saying. I didn't think that I would make it 3 or 6 months. And so to think about putting myself in a situation where in the past I have been offered, most times that I've been in the ocean, I've met people who partook and passed
Mhm.
in a circle afterwards. And I always loved that about surfing, but now it's going to be different. And I think
Mhm.
that's why I haven't done it yet. It's
Yeah.
been like I've been protecting my sobriety, but
Mhm.
it's like, all right, enough is enough. I'm
mm,
ready to get back to life and do something that
yeah.
it's why I'm in California. It is why I live where I live on the coast of California.
Yeah.
So what am I
Yeah.
waiting for? You know?
Yeah. Right on. You know, I just thought of something. You know, we never thought about it, but you know, if somebody's carrying COVID or something like that, and you're sharing that, just
Also, oh, sorry, go ahead.
go ahead.
Well, see, I couldn't
I was
do it
just,
because it's all like smushy.
hey, Cosmic.
Yeah. Hey,
Hi.
Cosmic. Yeah,
That's
it
hi.
I
is
was
too. Oh,
nice, very nice.
oh,
I
so
was just
pretty.
watching a
I just wanted to show
documentary.
you.
Oh, sorry.
I love it. Look at that blue
That's
sky.
beautiful.
I'm so
That's
jealous.
beautiful. That's gorgeous.
Wow.
Very well.
I love
So I'm going to
it.
go back inside. I just wanted to show you outside and see if my phone can take this.
Thank you.
So,
I love your
love
hat.
you, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah,
Bye.
love
Okay.
you.
Thank you. Bye.
Hi.
I was going to say, Tara, I hope you do, because I'm finding how much doing the things that I love nurtured like inner Becca
Yeah.
and make me feel better. And I'm hoping that you can do that, because I want you to nurture inner Tara.
Thank you.
Yeah, what's the quote from Life is what happens when you're busy making other plans? Elton John. No, John Denver. No. Got John Denver in my head now. John Lennon. Good gods. Oh, I
You
shouldn't have
got
heard
it.
that.
You
I
grabbed
shouldn't have
it.
heard
You
that.
got it. I have to get this in here. I saw the most terrifying documentary last night. This woman was talking about how she's lost several of her friends and family members due to them smoking marijuana that was laced with fentanyl.
Oh boy.
And
I was wondering if that
so
was
it's such a scary climate right now.
Yes, yes. So I mean, I don't want to get high right now. Like I'm not having cravings, thank God. I'm like medicated appropriately. I hope that's, you know, not triggering to anybody, but I do take mental health
Yeah.
medication.
So do I.
And yeah, I know we take one of the same medications actually. We both take Wellbutrin.
Yeah.
And
Me too.
Oh, okay, right on. I did not know that, Rebecca. Right on. It's really helped with my cravings,
It
to
has
be honest.
it's made a world of difference for me. Yeah.
Knowing that I could take something from somebody on the beach and that it could be laced with something that could kill me,
Something.
I think is
Yes.
actually pretty helpful, because that's what this woman
Yes.
was talking about, that like someone passed her stepfather something and he hit it and he died immediately thinking it was just weed.
Oh,
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
that is terrifying.
Yeah. And that's amazing, because that was one of the things you used to hear about people who got drug-induced schizophrenia from, they think they're smoking pot. It was mixed with something else. But now
PCP or
with fentanyl,
Hmm.
jeez.
And killing
mm,
people, not like
Yeah.
like
yeah.
beyond
Yeah.
mental illness. It's like game
Yeah.
over.
Whew.
And you didn't even know, you didn't even do it by choice.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, man. It's a different world.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah, it is. Yeah.
I've
Um,
heard even talk about how bad fentanyl is. It
yeah,
kills a
you know,
lot of
think
people.
Yeah.
the substance itself lit on fire cannot be good, you know? It can't be good. It can't be a way of ingesting it that is in any way the
Oh,
way it was designed to be ingested. I don't see why would somebody lace a joint or, their marijuana with that? It doesn't seem like it's meant to be smoked.
I think there's multiple motivations from what I understand. It could be to kill somebody straight up. It
Yeah.
could be a murder weapon. It could be to
Yeah.
get people addicted because it's extremely addictive. So if you lace your product, I mean, there are growers. I used to work for a grower back in 2020. I was doing technical work for a pot grower. And he told me that growers were spraying their plants. They would grow CBD and they would spray their plants with THC crystals so they could sell it as THC marijuana for a higher price than CBD. And so my thought was, well, if they're spraying plants with THC, like what's stopping them from spraying it with something else? And now we know that's exactly what's being done with fentanyl.
Yeah. Yeah. Steve is right. Only buy it from a dispensary. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And can't buy street drugs anymore.
No.
So true. Oh, no, this is the one that I meant to highlight. Cannot buy street drugs anymore, please. Absolutely.
Which is really good for me to remember, because if I go to the beach and I say, sure, I'll hit that, it's like, what am I signing up for? That could be the last thing I ever do in my life. And I hadn't really stopped to think about that until I watched that documentary last night. So I think that might be helpful in calming my nerves about accepting something when I go out to the water, just knowing what the consequence could be.
Oh my gosh.
I never had it rephrased. It seems to me like it's doing two opposite things at once. Yeah. So, yeah, I can kind of see that. Fent is only supposed to be for pain, though, isn't it? That's the only medical reason anybody ever gets it. Isn't that right?
I'm gonna Google it because I don't know what it's.
The nightmare of watching it every day of your life, being powerless to do anything matters. Nightmare in itself. I grow my own. I love all plants. Yeah, it's too scary a climate.
It says it's a synthetic opioid approved for treating severe pain, typically advanced cancer pain. And it's 50 to 100 times more potent than morphine.
And heroin.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Good grief.
Yeah, now there's this new stuff on the street. I can't remember what it's called. It's 50 times more potent than fentanyl,
Oh,
Which can kill you.
which
yeah,
can kill you. Like a speck
Frank.
of it can
Yeah,
take you out.
yeah.
I'm trying to highlight
Tommy's
this one.
talked about that a couple times.
I meant speed and cannabis. I never heard of fent lace. That's terrifying. It is terrifying, Cosmic. Whoo, what was it? Hidden in Plain Sight? Zelda wants to know if the documentary was called Hidden in Plain Sight.
No, it was just this woman. Let me see if I can look at my history and I'll tell you exactly what it was. It was just this woman. She was a talking head. It's called Fentanyl Kills. It's in the weed.
Mm.
It's one of the
I
fentanyl
feel like I've
kills
seen
series.
that.
Yeah, it's like
Is it on?
it's on YouTube.
Okay.
Fentanyl Kills is a series, and it just happened to catch my attention because it said it's in the weed, and I was like,
Mhm.
"What?" And I had suspected for quite some time that that was the case,
Yeah.
but everyone that I've asked about it either didn't know or they were denying that it was possible.
Right.
But I mean, if we're spraying CBD with THC crystals, then how is it impossible?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not. It's
Yeah,
not.
well, I just did a quick Google search. There is something N-decethyl isotonitazine is another new synthetic opioid bearing structural resemblance to some other related things. And it says it's 20 times more potent than fentanyl. Not sure if that's what they were talking about or if this is completely a different one.
Mm.
But that's just scary.
That is terrifying. Zelda found it, and good not to buy it anywhere, anytime from anyone. True, Henny. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good time to get sober.
That's right. Good time to stay sober.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. If you're still here to get sober, please.
Yeah, that is scary to think about. When I mean, a lot of the people I would hang musicians. I'm sorry, that was one of the things everybody did,
Yeah.
and it would be so interesting to try to track people down. Mm.
Wow, you guys. So
I should go soon too. I'm sure DJ has not come out, but
carfentanil.
I need to feed a kitty and I need to go feed me myself.
Okay, Rebecca.
I've
Thank
been
you.
munching on blueberries.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice to see you, Rebecca.
Good to see you.
I'm
Thank
so
you.
glad. You're doing
Thank you.
wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Bye, guys.
Bye. The super strong one is called carfentanil. This is from Rip Curl Readiness. It is 100 times more potent. It's mainly for larger animals and isn't safe to be used or made into anything for humans. Dang. Oh, my Lanta. Not a great time to be young and want to experiment. Glad I'm old.
My God. Yeah.
Nitrazine, the 7th nitrazine is the one that I
Okay.
heard of.
Okay. Ooh.
Okay, 20
Aren't
times.
new, but 20. Okay.
Hmm.
Whew.
Goodness gracious.
Y'all, let's keep each other accountable. Let's stay sober, please. It's too scary out there. It's too scary. You don't know what you're getting. You can't know what you're getting anymore. You can't know what you're getting. I mean, I would imagine that I was just thinking about Matthew Perry.
Mm.
You know, and I'm wondering if there was something in the street drug element of the ketamine that he was taking. I mean, anything can be chemically altered, and that's it, you know?
I think also I did some research on that because I take ketamine. I do ketamine treatment once a week in a clinical setting or at
Yeah.
home, a prescribed dosage. And
Yeah.
he had way more than any clinician would ever prescribe in his
Yeah.
system.
And he might not have known he was taking that much.
Maybe
If he
not.
got it on the street, you know?
Maybe not. He, amongst other things that he had in his system, and he was on
Yeah.
Suboxone. He had the maximum dosage
Yeah.
of Suboxone in his system
Yeah.
as well.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I was nervous because the night that I had people sending me articles about that the night before I had a treatment. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm going to get a treatment tomorrow. But I did some research and I wasn't scared anymore because I take
Yeah.
it as prescribed.
Yeah. It's a good time to be sober for sure. Yes, it is, Kristen. Hard to imagine that alcohol is the safest bet for young'uns. Yeah. 7th. I have a relative that is retired chemist that worked with many big pharma. And when he saw the potency of what is coming into the USA, he said it was far too strong to be made safely into medicine. Yeah. So get sober, stay sober, please. It's not worth it.
Plus, I gotta say, I'm only 3 years in. I'm a newbie compared to you, Carol, but life is getting better. For the first 2 years, I will admit I was not sure that it was getting better. After the first year, I was like, I felt worse because I wasn't properly medicated. But now that I have been focused on my mental health, I'm in a beautiful new apartment, thank God. And I really do feel like, okay, I'm starting to feel better than when I was using. So I just want to offer maybe some hope to anybody watching who thinks that maybe their life is worse without substances. For me, time cured that. And I'm hoping for myself, just to give myself some hope here, that I continue to improve if I stay on this path.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, and it's not a magic pill. Sobriety is not a magic pill.
No,
It's not going to magically make things better. Things aren't necessarily going to get better overnight, or they might. But if they don't, it has nothing to do with sobriety. It's just life. And life sucks sometimes.
Especially if there's underlying mental health issues. Like for some people, they can get clean and sober and life gets better. But for some people, and I happen to be one of them, it will get worse if mental health conditions are left untreated.
Yeah. Yeah. Alcohol is liquid poison. How is that safer for the young? 7th son. Talk about a gateway drug. Alcohol is it. That's true, Henny. That is true. I mean, it certainly was for me. It certainly was for me. And let's see. It's scary everywhere, not just with drugs. It's scary and cold and hard to feel safe anywhere anymore. Yeah. But your chances improve with sobriety, with staying clean. Your odds improve dramatically, especially in today's climate.
Right.
And on that note, what do you guys think? Have we had a meeting?
Yes. A very exciting meeting, in my opinion.
Yes.
Yeah,
Congratulations on 3 years, Tara.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you putting on the tiara at the beginning. That was really sweet.
Right on.
Okay.
Keep up the great work, Tara.
Thank you. I will do my best. I will do my best. I think it's important for me to remember where I came from. And so meetings like this are so helpful. You know, people like when Jen came on and she was struggling, when Christine?
Cosmic Christie?
No,
Oh,
Crystal.
yeah.
Crystal. Yeah, sorry, Crystal, if you're watching this, I do apologize. Seeing people be so honest and raw about what they're going through, it helps me stay sober. So I want to thank you for coming on and being transparent and helping me stay sober another day.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right on.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm sober. A bit nervous, anxiety, but breathing all at the same time. Each breath can be a struggle. Great meeting. Thank you. Thank you. You are so welcome, Bruce. That is amazing. You're sober. That is a powerful, those are the most powerful 2 words I can think of right now. I'm sober. That's amazing. That's amazing. Great work, Bruce. Yeah. Great work. Yay. Yes, we're celebrating Bruce today too. You want a tiara? Just to encourage you on. This is this is for sobriety. No matter how long it's been. You're sober. I'm sober. You could say that. That's amazing.
Not for the faint of heart.
It is not. That's true. But you know, the other is just an illusion, just making you feel like you can deal with the bad stuff. It doesn't actually help you deal with it. It just makes it go away for a little bit and makes you feel maybe a little more comfortable in your own skin for a little bit. But you're going to come back around to where you're not comfortable in your own skin again. You're going to get itchy again, you know, not necessarily physically, and just, you know, that itch is going to be there. We've all got the itch that we scratch with something, you know. But yeah, 100%. Bruce, here are some ones. Yeah. Well, I feel like I've had a meeting.
I also feel like I had a meeting.
Right
Thank you
on.
so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna pop off,
Okay.
and I don't want to, but I it's time for me to pop off. So, thank you again. I hope to see you
Thank
soon.
you. Okay.
I need to become young, made of rubber, and then start surfing.
Yeah.
Although I need a body of water first, but okay.
Yeah.
If I can knock those few things out, I can do it.
I tried in the Pacific Ocean in San Diego where the currents are real strong. I never could stand up and do it. I wish I had been able to. I did try a few times, but it never happened for me. Who knows?
Yeah, well,
I'll never say never, but anyway, maybe the Atlantic is a little nicer. A little kinder.
I do hope that you have yourself I'll teach you how to surf. I'm not made of rubber anymore. That and unlike I sink.
Zelda, thank you for being here today. Thank all of you guys for being here. This was a great meeting. Really, really good.
I do hope you have an awesome day, Carol. And
You too,
thank
Ben.
you. And
You too.
I hope you're able to keep that donkey in line and just give him what for. You know?
Yeah.
You take care.
You too. I didn't expect to disclose anything today. I appreciate y'all holding space. You're right on, Kristen. You know, we're only as sick as our secrets. That's one of those cliches we have in recovery, but say what you will about a cliche, they're normally true. And that's why they're so annoying. Anyway. Yeah. So we can do this, y'all. We can do this. There's no reason we can't. Just we can get through it, and we don't have to drink or use to get through anything. It's still going to be there after the drinking, after the drugs have worn off. Whatever it is, it's still going to be there. It's not going to go away. Whether it's an internal thing from trauma or whether it's an external thing that you just don't want to think about. You can find other ways to distract yourself that isn't deadly. That's my 2 cents worth for now. Thanks, you guys, for such an amazing meeting. I appreciate every one of you. You guys bring so much to this community. And I hope to see you again next meeting. And until then, peace, y'all. You got this.